Welcome back to the Printosaurus. Today we're going to explore some new filament that was released in the last couple of months from Bambu Labs. It's the PLA Galaxy. Comes in green, purple, nebula, and brown. I picked up the nebula in the purple, and we're going to do some test prints with it. I'll tell you what I think. I'll show you some examples, and please let me know in the comments what you guys think as well. All right, let's get to it. So to run through some specs on the PLA Galaxy and what's recommended, they recommend the cool plate, high temperature, or PEI plate. They do not recommend the engineering plate, so don't use that if you're using a Bambu printer. Also, it has a sleek gloss finish, and it's got a glass microsphere additive added to it, and that's what gives the flicker of color in these, which is pretty neat. You know, it gives a unique light effect is what they say. Recommended to dry these 8 hours, 55 degrees Celsius. I did that on one, and I didn't do it on the other just to see where we're at. Didn't notice any quality differences really with printing, so totally up to you. They recommend to dry it 8 hours, 55 degrees Celsius, so it's probably not a bad idea to go ahead and do that. But like I said, I tested one with out drying, and I tested one drying and got the same result. And like I said earlier, a little bit of lifting, so probably print with a brim. We'll change the temperature. I did use that PEO rainbow plate to do these. I'll try PEI as well, just to see. The color swatches were a lot flatter, very precise, no issues at all printing on those. So I did these simple color swatches. I use these a lot just to kind of grab and lay out and get some of my colors together when I do my workflow for printing. Flat, they were printed on the PEI plate. No issues with warpage or anything like that, which is always nice. And these are just simple color swatches. I'll drop a link below on the ones that I use. I like to have these on hand. I have quite a few, and they're just easy references to kind of really look at what you're printing and get your workflow going, or you know, whatever color coordination you're using for your prints. But initially, first input on these, you know, first thoughts, they look great. The colors are interesting. Now I will say the nebula and the purple do look pretty similar. One's just a little bit darker, but they. So here we're just kind of running through getting these set up. These are the color swatches. So I have two. I'm going to print by object, so I can print both colors at one time on the same PEI build plate. And you can see here too the similarity in color. One's just a shade darker once I get this set up. But they both have a bit of purple in them, the nebula and the purple. So I've got these all set up on the build plate and they're ready to go. And I'm just going to send these off to the printer, and you'll see the end result here in a second. And then I also went ahead and printed some iPhone 14 cases. Now you don't really want to print these out of PLA. I think it's a little too stiff. So you're probably going to end up having them crack, or you know, they'll be really hard to get off. TPU, great material. PETG is a little more flexible. I would look to those if you're making cases, but I thought this would be just a good example of printing something a little larger than those color swatches and seeing what we got. I did have some warpage and some layer shifts. These I also printed, I don't know if you've seen, but I do have a video on using some Amazon plates. I did use one of those plates. I used the rainbow PEO plate or PEY plate to do these, and it really added an extra flick of color to the sparkle kind of glass color that is already in this particular filament. So here you can see on that rainbow sheet a little bit of lift. We're going to work on that with a brim, but the end result looks spectacular. Really cool effect that it added to that. Okay, so final thoughts. What do I think of PLA Galaxy? The two colors I picked are very similar. I don't think I would ever use a brown I'm sure it has its purpose or place. The green, I think, would be pretty cool. I think it'd be cool to do like my logo or something like that in that. This definitely has a place. I think if you're adding just a little pop of color to a print, maybe you don't want to use you know, a matte purple or a gloss purple or something like that, then the purple Galaxy color would really pop. And you know, it's definitely an interesting color. It has flakes of green in it, blue in it. It's pretty neat. I do like this, and I will be using this or trying to incorporate it into a couple prints coming up.